Hey there, welcome to this lecture. Today in this lecture, we'll be going to have a quick look at our backend application packaging, right? So while it comes to the front end, then definitely backend is a kind of source of truth where we are going to retrieve the data to render in our front end. So that means while it comes to the deployment of the front end application, then we need to make sure our deployment of our backend is successful beforehand. So let's take a look at the backend packages here. So inside the backend, we can see we have the same associated directory, just like we did for our front-end application. Let's go inside the source directory. So we have a couple of directory structures right here, which is called middleware, models, and routes, right? And this application, we just try to make it minimalistic, so we don't want to put our hands on writing a lot of codes, right? In this course, we're not going to write any codes from the scratch. So we have plenty of the courses are available in our learning platform codewithj.com and in our YouTube channel as well as. So go ahead and check it out, some of the courses right there where you can kickstart your application from the scratch by writing some business logic in a better way. But in this application, the backend application, we are just keeping everything minimalistic in terms of structure of the project and the settings and everything. We just try to keep it minimalistic, so you will be not going to fall into trouble for configuration. So let's try to have a quick look what we did here. So the endpoint of this application is the server.ts, right? So while we are starting this application, then we are keeping our database as a kind of MongoDB, right? Which is again it's a form of a source of truth for our application, and we are not configuring any kind of migration here. But definitely we have a kind of advanced course where everything we are handling right there, how we can run the migration on the time of deployment. But this course is for the beginners or maybe kind of intermediate level. So that's why we're not putting our hands on the writing migrations and all. So because of that, we are just using the MongoDB here, right? So you can just use the MongoDB and you can connect it right there. So this MongoDB URI, we are going to put it from our environment variable. Maybe we will be going to create a kind of remote cluster in the MongoDB, and we'll be going to pass it on right here so we can directly connect the MongoDB from there. Right? By looking at the server.ts, here you can see we are using the build app, right? So what is this build app? So build app is coming from our app.ts file. So you can put any name as you want, but we are just try to keep it a little bit meaningful. So while we are building the app, then it is going to be build all of the dependencies right there along with all of the useful routes. So let's try to install all of the dependencies. Seems like these are missing here. So let's go ahead and switch to our backend application. You can say backend, and we are going to use the npm here. Perfect. So we have installed all of the libraries here, right? So this error should supposed to go away. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So inside this, the app.ts file, you can see we are using Express. We are using some of the other the libraries as well as, right? In order to protect our application and in order to get some kind of useful logs right there, right? And finally, we are hooking up our routes here. So we have right now initially we have two routes, one for auth and another for the user route. So what is the auth route does, right? So auth route, the way we are handling in our front-end application, auth is going to be onboard our users for handling our login and sign up. If you go here, you can see we have a register route and we have a login route. So we are not segregating layers, right? So this doesn't make sense to put our hands on the writing all of the layers, because maybe some of you are watching this course, maybe want to pursue your career as a kind of DevOps or maybe platform engineer. Then doesn't make sense to put a lot of our hands in writing a lot of code. So that's why I'm just preparing these things for you. So without effort, you can directly pick this repository or maybe pick this particular course and go ahead and deploy it. So now you can see we are accepting all of the requests, and we are turning all of these things to a kind of useful input, and we are calling the database right here for finding it out whether user is exist or not. If it is exist, then throwing some kind of error. Otherwise, we are going to create the user and we are sending some kind of response there, right? And similar applies for the login also. Login also we are parsing all of the request body and transferring these things to a kind of useful information, just like email ID and password. Then we are looking at the user is exist. Then we are signing a kind of token so our user can use that particular token as a form of gatekeeper to access their profile. So this is very small and quite tiny backend service. And as a form of middleware, we are using some kind of function that is going to help us out to to act as a gatekeeper for transferring this, transforming this authorization token to check it out whether this user is authorized or not, right? And models are some sort of, you can say, schema that is we are storing in our MongoDB, right? So where we are using some useful information, name, email, password, right? And we are adding some utility functions also, which is going to compare our password in order to accomplish very seamless the comparison right there, right? Perfect. So now our application is set right there, right? Then in the next lecture, we are going to discuss about the environment variables. So you can see we have some environment variables right here, but while it comes to the deployment, then certainly we need to take care in a different way. Perfect. So I hope you already enjoyed this tutorial. And then in next class, we are going to discuss about the environment variables for how we can tackle it for the front end and back end and etc. All right, then see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.